Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Triple TC, that's the time-travelling toy collector, and today we are looking at the latest entry into the Fanhome official Star Trek Starships Collection, as I fall over my words, of course I do. And it's a delight to have you back for this one. This is the latest edition that's just arrived with me. It is the USS Titan. And this is a bit interesting. Now, as part of a time saver, I've already taken the Titan out of the box, so you can see that here, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail in a second. Just to focus in on the box to start with, though, just so we have a bit of a tour. On the front, we can see an actual reproduction of the model there. There's your Star Trek logo in the corner, and Star Trek Picard. We'll come back to that in a second. USS Titan, there's the registration. Star Trek Picard, we'll come back to that in a second. Fanhome, of course. There is the Titan warping into action. Star Trek Picard. We'll come back to that. Star Trek, Fanhome. Star Trek. There's the ship. Again, I do really enjoy and love looking at the boxes. They are really nicely done, I have to say. I'm just going to put that out of the way now because it's not the main attraction of the piece. And I'm now going to zoom us in a bit on what is the main attraction, which of course is the Titan itself. But I have an observation to make. Now, we've seen the Titan in animated form in Lower Decks, and indeed that was a vehicle that I did pick up and have already done a video on. But let's take a little look around this ship, shall we? Let's move this one around so we can have a nice 360. It is very much in keeping with the design and the aesthetic of the Federation of its time. But I have to say, it's interesting that it comments that this Lunar class ship was in Star Trek Picard, because I don't think it was. Now, I could be mistaken, and if I am, let me know in the comments down below. But I don't know that this has ever appeared on screen in live action. I know it's appeared on screen in animated action as part of Lower Decks, as I mentioned there, but has it really appeared in Picard? Because I don't remember it appearing in Picard, and that's sort of further augmented. Now again, it's just arrived, so I've not gone through it properly yet, with the magazine. So obviously we've got the magazine here with some lovely artwork on the front, USS Titan, etc. But when you kind of go through it, and it shows us that it was William Riker's first, he was the captain. This is his first proper full command. And again, you get lots of lovely shots. You get lots of nice background information, of course you do. Lots of lovely information. Various views of the ship via the range of elevations. Of course, it's wonderful. You get design. You get design sketches, etc. So lots of good information, always good information with these magazines. Very full of exciting and interesting details. But what there isn't in there, which is what sort of really prompted me to think about it, are any illustrations or stills of the Titan appearing on screen. And that sort of got me thinking that I don't know that it ever did. I could just be misremembering, because it's been a while since Picard aired. But I know we got the cartoon version of the Titan from Lower Decks, and I've done a video on that. But maybe I'm just having a false memory. If you know what episode of Picard it did appear in, and I am actually gone bonkers, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, please let me know that I haven't gone bonkers and it didn't actually appear in real life. Right, I'm going to take it off the cradle for now, so we can get a nice bit of in hand. This cradle pinches a bit on this side. And I don't like it doing that, because I feel like it's going to rub against the paintwork on the saucer section. Right, so here we go. This is, as ever, quite a lovely design. I'll be perfectly honest with you. USS Titan, United Federation of Planets, NCC 80102. This was another one that was a bit of a... I'm not that excited about it. At least that was my thinking. This was just another one along the way of getting to where I'm going. But once I've got it in hand, I can't help it. There's just something about the designs, about all of it, that really sort of pulls me in. It's very annoying, I have to say. It's very annoying indeed. But I really like it. I will say that it's very light. This ship is very light, so it doesn't feel particularly weighty. So if there's any die cast in here at all, I don't know where it is. if it is anywhere, it's probably in the saucer section where it feels marginally heavier. So certainly don't pick or hold it by the nacelles, because I don't think these struts would take the weight. Not that there's much weight, but I would recommend against risking it. So let's take a look along the saucer section first. You can see we've got plenty of escape hatches there, escape pods. You can see that the windows are tampoed on, and I think again what they've done here that I'm a big fan of is they haven't put any indentations in. Therefore, where the windows are, it doesn't look whether they've hit or missed, because there's nowhere to hit or miss. They've just put them on, which I think is fantastic. I love the sort of inlaid gold detailing along that main section there as we go towards this portion of what I would have thought was the saucer section of the bridge. But I might be mistaken, because this might be the bridge up here, although it doesn't necessarily look like it. I'm still inclined to think that's the bridge. So I'm not really sure what this section is, but I do like the look of it. I like that sort of design aesthetic, that there's sort of an additional section on top of the saucer section. I do like that. But yeah, on closer inspection, I am convinced that that's the bridge. So we move along here, along that wonderful detailing, and again you see that additional blue that's sort of almost duck egg blue that's pulled out there. You can see the Federation livery down the back there, and we get to a very lengthy landing bay for the shuttlecraft, and there's the shuttle bay doors there, and of course we have the registry USS Titan there at the back. Nacelles are very nicely designed. They're very sort of industrial. There's a very sort of industrial feel to these. I'm not sure completely what I mean by that, but there just is. We've got the Bussard collector there in translucent red plastic. Then we have, again, a bit more of that gold brass detailing there. We have the nacelles there with the blue translucent plastic in there. It's a bit of a shame, because then where it connects here down the back, you can sort of see that it doesn't allow the light through. You can see that that's the consequence of that design, and I just think that's a little bit awkward. It would have been nicer if they'd found a better way of doing that, because it just looks like, oh, we shine a light through it, but we can't get the light through there. It's a minor thing, but it just sort of stands out to me. Some nice blue again following through to the edge of the nacelles there. So there's a nice reverse view of the ship. There's not an awful lot that's different. It's quite symmetrical as we go down this side, so there's not a huge amount there to comment on, but it does have some very nice lines. Let's flip the ship so we can see the underside of the saucer section. Again, there's lots of that same sort of detailing with the tampered lights, lots of escape pods. I'm assuming the captain's yacht's secured somewhere around here. We have a very nice translucent blue main deflector dish there that is quite prominent. You can see that shining quite brightly there. So that's very, very nice. We go on to the underside of the hull. I'm guessing that's where the warp core is for ejection purposes. A few more escape pods. But yeah, again, very nice detailing, very nice tamper graphics. Not too overstated. It's a very nice coloration of the main body. And yeah, again, I just think they do such a sterling job producing these. Now again, you can see that the saucer section fits there. It is tilting at a slight angle, just to give it that sort of in-flight vibe. And it works. I'll just knock the camera, but it does work. I'll just send it on its little merry way going round again very quickly, so we just take another look at it. If there's any angles or anything there that you want to get another look at, by all means feel free to pause and have a look at it as it goes round. But yeah, it's a nice ship. It's a nice complement. I don't have the animated version to hand, otherwise I'd have done a side by side. If I do get a chance to dig it out, then I might do that and put that possibly over on Patreon, where I'm currently doing a Star Trek Evolution of the Enterprise series for Patreon members exclusively. So if you want to check that out, it's basically looking at the evolution of the design of the Enterprise through time. But I'm using the Eagle Moss and Fanhome models as sort of as practical discussion topics to hold. Let's just turn that around. To hold the conversation around. So I'll leave the link to Patreon in the description of the video. But yeah, feel free to check that out. But I really love this. It's kind of compact. It certainly isn't by any stretch of the imagination one of the bigger ships. But yeah, I think this is a really nice model. I think it does everything it has to do. I think it's a nice real world, for want of a better description, real world variation of the Titan. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think the only realization we've had of it so far has been the animated version that we got from Lower Decks. So this talks to that sort of real life, but sort of real time, on screen kind of design that I think we would have seen had it been a feature, had it been featured in the flesh, as it were, in Picard. I'm going to have to rewatch Picard anyway, but I really don't remember seeing it. But I could be having just a brain freeze, because I'm trying to do a few of these back to back, because time is a precious commodity at the moment. That's not a complaint, it just is. So I'm trying to optimize my time, so I've not done any additional research because I just haven't had the time to do it. But I do know that the Star Trek community who watches these are infinitely more knowledgeable than I, and in an instant will be able to confirm or deny whether the Titan appeared in Star Trek Picard. So if you are or you are not one of those walking encyclopedias of Trek knowledge, it doesn't matter. I'm just glad you're here. If you could possibly drop a like to the video, that would be fantastic. If you haven't already, a subscription to the video would be completely brilliant. It really helps me get to my next subscriber milestone, which means so much to me. And of course, you don't have to watch every single video. If you're more into Star Trek, there's plenty of Star Trek stuff in previous playlists and still to come. But if you're interested in a wide variety of things like Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Battlestar Galactica, all sorts of things like that, Doctor Who, Transformers, things like that, check out the channel. There's a lot there. There's a lot there that you might find of some interest. Don't go too far back though, because early videos, they're still up, but they're patchy, touch and go, patchy. Let's say that. Let's call it that. Let's be polite and call it that. But they get a bit better. They get a bit better. Only a bit, but they get a bit better. Any progress is still progress. Let's just leave that there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me as I've had a little whistle-stop tour of the Titan model. Do let me know your thoughts if you've collected this in the comments down below. It's much appreciated. Have you picked this one up? Would this one have been a pass for you? Are you like me on the subscribing to Fanhome, and therefore you're getting them all regardless, and you might be selling it on? Is it one that you thought you'd sell on and now you've changed your mind about? Now you've got it in hand. Let me know. I'm fascinated to know, and very much look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you very much once again for joining me on this particular voyage, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video, or of course in a past video. And it just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care, and one to beam up.